Hi, I'm Benjamin with Safe Drive Solutions. Today we're going to talk about how to hardwire a dash camera. So, first things first, you need a hardwire cable. Black wire is typically going to go to ground. The yellow wire is going to go to constant power. And the red wire is going to go to ignition. So, all three of these wires need to be hooked up to the vehicle. So, a couple different tools that I recommend having. Typically, a ground test light, okay, that you can actually hook up to ground on the vehicle to actually test fuses, or have a multimeter, a digital multimeter that you'll be able to test your power and ground connections with. Now, when you are doing this, you also are going to need fuse taps. So figure out what size fuses that you have on the vehicle, and you're going to need fuse taps. I recommend this style here. The reason why is because you can actually put two fuses in, so you can put the actual fuse back into it that was in the vehicle, and then a fuse specifically for the dash camera. I find these to be the safest ones available. So now what we want to do is locate the fuse box. So on this Kia vehicle right here, the fuse box is just down here. So what we're going to do, the vehicle's running right now. I can actually tap right here. And if you can see that, this right here is actually lit up. That means there's power to this circuit. If I go here, this other one, and I turn the ignition off on the vehicle, you can see the light actually just went out. What that basically means to you is that this wire is testing, this fuse, is testing as an ignition source, which means now I can actually use the fuse tap directly into here, into this circuit, and utilize it for ignition turn on. Now, vice versa, if I actually want to use the multimeter, I can use the multimeter, hook it up to ground, hook it up there, and just like that, 12.93 volts is showing up on the multimeter. This is what we want to do in order to actually hardwire a dash camera. This is how we test the wires and make sure that we're actually hooking up to the proper circuits. I do recommend staying away from any circuits where it's an actual airbag or any kind of safety system. I do recommend looking for them. Do not assume that just because it says car audio or says, do not assume just because it says like car audio or something like that, that it automatically means that it's switched to ignition. Make sure you test it. Make sure you have the tools in order to test that. Okay, so we've actually made the connections. We've soldered it or butt connected it, depending on who you are, to the hardwire cable. I've put the fuses in place inside here. So it's actually all put in here. As you can see, it's just kind of hanging out loosely. The ground is actually screwed into the side here. Some people may try and use like a factory bolt. Either way, just be careful of what you do. I do recommend using a screw in order to actually put it in, like a self-tapping screw. And I like using a lock washer. That way it's a solid connection. Now, when I go and I'm going to hook this up to this dash camera, we're going to actually hear it power up. Oh. Okay, so now that you actually know how to hardwire a dash camera, and you've seen kind of that we've hooked up the fuse taps, you've seen that we grounded the wire, we hooked it up and there was power and the dash camera turned on. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave comments down below or text, call, or email us. We are here to help out.